be up to part 7. Spring 2011, Gwangju, South Korea. From Top Secrets. Splotchy, white-barked sycamore pushes to surpass pines atop Chosun University mountain. To reach this bench, 397 staircase steps and 50 drops of sweat are spent. Pretty rich girls stroll on Saturday, but the empty campus lets spring roll on, unadmired by soccer kickers and potential mates. Chirping birds are more likely to feel naturally sated after planting egg fertilization, eating grass seeds, flying in the gobi's yellow dust. Invasion comes to Mountain Peninsula not just from the west, but this spring from post-tsunami Sendai and its blowing up nuclear reactors. Cancer only slows the drums that demand we build illogical radioactive electricity. Postmodern deconstruction should be applied to decommission these ogres rather than ascribe meaning to writing based on assumed idiosyncrasies acquired during the author's adolescence. Human activity has brought us both to productive heights and this wide-mouthed abyss between rich and poor. It will slow to urge it needs and war, now that demand outstrips supply universally. The young will have, and the old will keep trying to have sex in order to keep economic realities at bay. But the very richest will not fashion legislation to help the poor this time, thus assuring mega disaster. Zen die, Sendai, send die. Throat swells, gums bleed, limbs bulge on and off in this post-nuclear tsunami Asian spring with its radio rain. Sadness because years of stress already determine most people's cause of death, but now it's a relative surety that cancer rates will fly 5 years hence. 16 students sweat a midterm, young enough to never have imagined life-shortening storm, still sure the orgasmic joy of youth will last forever, or at least looking forward to blissful mating, large alcohol, unflinching prosperity, and a good job awaiting stellar grade point average in a system where B+ is a slap in the face. Stress exudes and clogs up the aisles with a goo so sticky it's hard to collect the exams. So bright smiles, scores well, heads to a midterm a scant 10 minutes removed, but ever so cheerful, even if she is truly so embarrassed about leaving her pencil case behind. Living proof that life goes merrily along amid the worst type of disasters. Corporate, TEPCO shouldn't have allowed tons of radioactivity to spread into the Pacific. Financial, banks got trillions, sold homes at 70% off, foreclosed 9,000 per day, then asked for more bailouts. Governmental, fascism at every turn. Environmental, look at it all, and still we drive our cars. Overtunked. This so-called life, this enigma wrapped in pain, surrounded by a sea of nuclear waste. This endgame controlled by those who can profit the most by the end of what? The end of humanity? Oil? Seas? Biosphere? Planet? We, the people, only included white landowners, while 3,000 cultures got cleaned off the map. Masonic fascism has only worsened, now infecting the Christian church to the extent that abject poverty spreads a wildfire as stock prices rise, products move, after raw materials shipped thrice to discover the cheapest possible labor. This shit is not poetic, but you have to scream. So how to scream on stage, on TV, at the movies in any way that will register with the already brainwashed populace. Millions more will end up criminals, jailed on this side of the pond. The already dead plus refugees climb toward 5 million over there. As long as about half as many as needed have jobs, and foreclosures hover lower than 10,000 a day, we'll be all right, right? It's just too bad if you can't fight to survive and be in a lucky location, bomb-free. Death will trump poverty. Blaring heat returns late, provides relief to muscles, brains, love-starved, newly matched mates, here in the land of the morning calm. Green ginkgo leaves soon turn bright yellow, flutter unpredictably, due to fan-shaped leaf outweighing stems by so much. Our mates walk in and out of the shade 40 times on the sunny side of the street. Ginkgos taste too strong, but medicinal value is high, so locals eat them boiled soft or in soup or tea. Their shade is a bonus. Fruit is sought after by amateurs and pros, so the city grows them down streets in communal Guangzhou. New Navy base horrors. Historic flutter returns as Memorial 518 returns into K-pop, miniskirt dance festival. May 18th being the day Chun went nuts on Guangzhou, democracy not squelched, but assured by US-backed paratroopers executing dire overkill, inspiring rich kid pamphlet drop suicides at Seoul National until, on the most unlikely peninsula, they yielded power to the masses. A scant 30 years later, tendencies toward those ugly times, dictatorial edicts, a supposed presidential suicide, concrete rivers, 8 beef protesters dead. Witness, monk aflame, broken bones, mutilated girl, troops sent in over and over. This behavior is emulated in the new dash for ever decreasing resources. Modified crops allow huge population while stripping collection of next year's seeds. World disasters assured via food wars, global warming, automobiles, self-righteous billionaires. When we lost touch with nature, all else crashed. Humanity traded for big money. Is there resurgent, loving hippiedom more than fad? Or are we destined to fight on behalf of the same rich men who enslave labor? April 7th poem, 2012. Our one world government activist from the 50s has lived to see the economic equivalent arise from the World Trade Organization, IMF, GATT1, GATT2, these treaties, in which trade considerations outweigh sovereignty. This ideal moment for the profit centers of the world has unfortunately been soured from within, leaving him to wonder about the fate of the next 20 years. But he still reads hard, is sharp about human relations, forgiving to absent-minded children, interested in his grandchildren, wrapping experienced arms around James III, the one who has international eyes, who takes the Asian rock game Go, who has the ability to walk into any classroom and excel. He's as seriously as any chess match player with his padok, or his soccer practice. This and so much more make up the experiences he has to thrive on when the present slows down. This man, advocate for the freedoms won in many battles, example to us all about how to squeeze everything out of each day, through fundraisers one season, lake frolics the next, and is thought of each day by more people than he can remember, has not lost touch with those who matter, and finds those good stories to keep his brain brilliant, to extend new meaning into each day, to live more than one life, the way he always did, say 40 years ago. You inspire us from afar. We'll be all right, thanks to your allowing us to be who we are. Blibbity blah, blibbity blee. Long old perm adds to the tired look on her face as she adjusts bra strap. Eye judges walks past, and then doubles back to the most expensive salon in town, Li Chu, Tokyo, Beijing, Guangzhou. A whopper